All right, it is currently 10:13 a.m. and this is the documentation. This is the P.O.C. and this is documentation proving the existence of the P.O.C. Without any anomaly, without any exception, without any variables speaking to, for example, a prosecution of a state that's engaging in statewide surveillance, and there being any possibility that the pattern of conduct as I've shown it, as I've established it, and evidence speaking to a consistent pattern of conduct, a consistent formula of behavior in an environment, and that environment is part of the behavior, the entity is engaging in that pattern of conduct, which is accomplishing criminal surveillance by the government, not private citizens, not private businesses, and it's also malicious. Contrary to the external appearance of things, everyone is actually focused on the person who is indeed being kept under surveillance. And this is the evidence of that. This is the fake sun that is over my head. This is the same address where I'm at after 6 p.m. You're going to look at the pictures. The fake sun doesn't extend beyond where these demons who are pacing, where this demon that's operating the vehicle, okay, this demon that's walking in the hallway, license 26357C3, is a sex offender, and he's keeping a woman under surveillance in a hotel, and he's privy to everything concerning that woman's vagina. He's privy to the evidence that's being captured right now about his being a sex offender and a deviant, a predator and a stalker, and he's doing so in concert with the police department, the Ontario police. And sunlight doesn't appear in the shade. Sunlight doesn't appear beside a vehicle when you're driving under the sun. 26357C3 is monitoring, and he's also driving under a light source while the fake sun is remaining in a position that it is still here present after 6 p.m. And this is also someone that's conspiring my murder. That's the entity that's gang stalking as a population. Every business is sharing in that, and it's not based on business hours. The people of the state engage in surveillance in relevant position. They're doing so while being patrons at the venue, and the fake sun that is over me now is not going to be in the natural environment causing any sort of sunlight to appear in the shade like you saw, while you're listening to amplified noise by a demon that's monitoring at the venue. This is the employees gang stalking immigrants as well, subject to deportation. The entity is engaging in what is monitoring. If you'll recall, on August 22nd, 2025, where at 10:13 a.m. the sun would not be over the roof of RAMADA by WYNDHAM at 10:13 a.m. and let alone still here at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, which is what I captured yesterday. In addition, the fake sun is what is going to be present here and over the Ontario town square. Now, what you're looking at is a rapid change in the environment, and it's never the natural environment in the first place. And that's also how you know that all these people are aware of my presence. The malice of the entity is exhibited through the environment, through the impossible light activity, through the amplified noise, through the presence in an environment which is supernatural, which none of the demons that don't want you to know what they are and what they're doing are ignorant about. There's no sun that's over the Ontario town square, whether the demons cover it up. The entity keeps this fake sun, and this is why you document, and the entity is engaging in what is the provision of what is evidence to prosecute. That demon just drove in engineer light, and engineer light appeared in the shade, which is the pattern of conduct, and this is where demons are monitoring. These are sex offenders monitoring my vagina. RAMADA by WYNDHAM, Baymont by WYNDHAM, Days Inn by WYNDHAM, La Quinta Inn and Suites by WYNDHAM are gang stalking. And this is a sex offense while they're engaging in that P.O.C. It's 10:17 a.m. Excuse me? This is called crossing a path. It doesn't cause any earthquakes. It doesn't cause any earthquakes in the hotel. And this is also impunity. And you're looking at what is, again, not normal business practices as well. Something as disruptive is not what a hotel is going to engage in with regard to its patrons. This is somebody that is monitoring under a fake sun that's over me at the hotel. Gang stalking immigrants are being deported. The entity light activity at the venue. This is the P.O.C. All right, and that is an entity that is gang stalking people of the state that know who I am. That's light activity that you're seeing that's underway at a venue. The entity is keeping the fake sun at 224 North Euclid Avenue, where gang stalking immigrants engage in federal group stalking and monitoring. That's domestic terrorism on video, on the internet, in front of the federal government with impunity, as though engaging in terrorism in the United States is something that's going to be perfectly dealt with, slap with on the wrist, or no consequences whatsoever. This is exactly what federal prosecution, what federal legislation is going to address. This is state action as well. This impunity is based on the ways in which you're going to prosecute domestic terrorists in the United States who are violent sex offenders who conspire murder of American citizens, that they are gang stalking. And the sun is not over 224 North Euclid Avenue, where the Ontario police are stalking me by helicopter with a population of demons that exhibit the same impunity, monitoring an American citizen on video as though it is of no consequence. That is the entity that engages in that in conspiracy, in furtherance of conspiracy to murder. Gang stalking is not for no reason. The Ontario Police Department are not gang stalking me by helicopter, flying over me for over 20 minutes at the Ontario Town Square, August 22nd, 2022. That is not the sun that's going to be over this roof, where a demon is stalking with amplified noise, crossing path with a bunch of other demons that are stalking with impossible light, aware of what I am, who I am, and what I'm doing, including inside of this hotel room. Making money off of it. That's the federal RICO case. But it's a federal RICO case against every business in California, okay? This is a state surveillance system, and it's a violent sex offense. It's an act of domestic terrorism and psychological torture. And it is that which is going to disband the Ontario police, who are stalking by helicopter at 10:13 until 10:17, until I walk into the Ovid Family Community Library, which is creating no sunlight, that a demon is going to drive in the shade, creating what is engineer light monitoring, just like this demon engaged in the same pattern. And it's also not going to be over the roof of the same building where it's present at 2 in the afternoon as I captured, at 4 in the afternoon as I captured, at 6, where it does not extend beyond this street. Right here, G Street. This is P.O.C. RAMADA by WYNDHAM, and the impunity that I'm documenting by RAMADA is exhibited by the patrons and the employees alike. RAMADA is acting through the people of the state, and RAMADA is also an established, legally represents the people of the state. I'm going to prosecute as well. This is criminal conduct by the City of Ontario, the State of California. This is P.O.C. It's currently 10:19 a.m. This is all audible activity, light activity, relevant positioning. As you see, the demons engaging in that. These sex offenders have been monitoring my vagina all weekend. This is P.O.C.